Hello, and you're listening to the Tiny Vet Podcast with me, Dr. Nicole Sue, exotics veterinarian, but now also doing dogs and cats. This will be interesting. And also, I am going to plug our dog food finder as well. So if you search dog food finder on Facebook, we'll come up with a little page. It's an automated bot that you can go through Messenger, and please try it. Give us whatever feedback, good or bad, because it's still very much in testing. It's still a demonstration. So all feedback is very, very helpful to us.
Yep, and it's
give that a try.
Dogs use it to find food. Is that right?
Yeah. So the hard part we found so far is teaching them how to type.
Yeah, I think it's also very difficult to get into strangers' houses. Because it searches for dog food, a geographical location.
That's not it. What it does is it will ask you some questions about your dog, and then
probably good. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's good to establish what.
Okay, I don't know. I've never plugged something before. So it asks you some questions about your dog, and then it gives you, I think, 3 recommendations for dry food, 3 recommendations for wet food, and then you can keep going from there.
All right. Is this whole episode just a plug for the dog food finder?
No. Nugget just said that. I had to do it. Which is fair.
All right.
And I remembered.
And you're going to introduce your co-host?
Oh, God, sorry.
Hello?
Not God. It's my co-host is not God.
No,
it is.
He's the furthest from God.
Yes, it is.
Comedian Jez Watts, hello. Nice to be here after the plugs, apparently. Over the weekend, I was a groomsman at my brother's wedding, and the photographer wanted to take getting ready photos, and he sent instructions, and one of the instructions was to be without shoes and socks when he began. There was an A4 page of instructions, and the only thing underlined was no shoes and socks to begin, which to me is a red flag. Then he sent through all the photos when it was all done, and there are 0 bare feet in any of the shots. And so if you want my feet pics and the feet pics of every bridal party member this guy's ever photographed, I reckon he's selling direct.
Really?
Yeah, he
Weird.
didn't send through a single one of the feet shots, but he insisted. He insisted we all have bare feet for his the beginning of all the shots.
Weird.
I saw him take some.
Interesting.
And lick his lips. It was. I didn't see him lick his lips, but definitely it's an odd situation that I reckon my feet pics are on the dark web now.
Congratulations, Andrew and Ben. It was a beautiful wedding.
It was a beautiful wedding, and I hope you're happy with wherever your feet pics have ended up. All the photos that he did send through were great. But,
I saw them. They're really lovely.
Yeah, they're beautiful. But they're not the ones that excited him the most.
Oh my God. Well, we can't use him for our wedding, that's for sure, at this stage. After that.
What are we talking about today, my love?
So we are talking about seed addiction in birds.
Seed addiction.
Seed addiction is a big problem.
Just being a big fat bird, hey?
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And it's not good.
Because, we're in recording this from Perth at the moment from a friend's house, and there is a fat cat that lives here, Artichoke, who's a very handsome fat boy.
I love him.
And Nicole has bought a bunch of diet food for him and gave it to them, and she was just like, here you go, this, and so he's been transitioning to his diet the last few days, and it's made him very mad.
He's very upset.
And he's just walking around the house just being like, hey, meow, meow.
Yeah.
Meow, I'm hungry.
Yeah, but he's too fat, and
so
he's 12.
Yeah, because I'm assuming when birds have to get transitioned off seeds,
which it's so bad.
Food,
yeah,
right?
It's so bad.
They probably also get mad.
Yeah, and the hard part is that it's like a battle of wills between bird and owner,
right.
And the bird often wins.
Well, I think that's true with most pets, right?
Yeah, but also birds are just they're so smart and they're so stubborn that it is very easy for the bird to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It is junk food, and we haven't really done,
It's just 2-calorie dense, right?
It's 2-calorie dense, and there's no vitamins and minerals in it.
Oh, it's not good for them either.
Basically just fat.
Oh, I thought it was fattening, but still they were getting the good stuff in it.
No. It's really a seed only diet's so bad for them.
Oh, why does everyone feed birds seed then?
Because it is guaranteed that they'll eat it.
Right.
Yeah, and the problem is that, you'll see bird seed mixes and they go, oh, complete and balanced. A lot of that is just lies, but also they might mix in like, dried veggies or, pellets and stuff, and then sure, it's complete and balanced, but the birds are not going to eat. They're just going to pick it out and throw it away.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they just are going to eat the most palatable parts.
Yeah.
And that's why, seed is so ubiquitous, because guaranteed the bird will eat it.
Right.
Like, you're never going to give it to a bird, and the bird's going to be like, nah.
Oh, interesting.
So it's really, really bad for them.
So like a bird owner shouldn't be feeding seed at all, or is it like part of the diet?
Usually I say the most I'm comfortable with is 30%.
Okay.
For the smaller parrots, and 20% for the bigger parrots.
Yeah, okay, right.
And of course they're great as training treats.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but there's a lot of birds out there because of all this misinformation and that marketing that are on only seed diets.
Right.
And a big part of my job when I saw birds was helping owners transition them to a healthy diet, and it's tough. It's so tough. So we've done the research on junk food in humans, and it does fire a lot of the brain parts. The squishy brain parts that, cocaine.
For all
and
you make fun of me
What?
for my studies, at least I don't refer to areas of the brain as the brain parts.
the squishy brain parts. Yeah.
But you get like, dopamine, serotonin. You
Yeah.
get the reward centers
Yeah, and
firing.
it lights up similar ones to, heroin.
Yeah, I
and,
had a gig I was hosting last night, and I hated the audience. Like, and so on the way home, I ate 20 nuggets, and then I drove further, and I was like, I'm still mad at them. And so then I pulled over to a petrol station. I bought a big Twix.
Yeah.
And then I came back, and like I gave up smoking, but then like I smoked a cigarette here. I was just like, I'm still mad. Sorry, I could see you judging me for that one, but yeah, it is that thing where. Yeah, just feeling good feels good, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they haven't done the same research on birds, but I'm assuming
sure.
it's fairly similar based on their
similar.
behavior when you take away their seed.
So what do they do when you take it away?
So some of them will just starve themselves.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, or you give them the healthy food and they throw it. They're scared of it sometimes. They don't go near it. Yeah, broccoli!
That's your reaction to broccoli also, I think.
I like broccoli. But also, birds are neophobic.
A what?
So, neophobic.
Okay.
So
they're afraid of anything new?
Yeah.
Oh.
And especially, like, a lot of times you get
It's
birds.
like an odd trait for an animal.
But it makes sense because if they're not exposed to something new from the beginning, then maybe it's
Could be
it's
dangerous.
poisonous or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. I understand
and
that, yeah.
That's why what I tell people is, from the day one they get your bird, especially if you've got a young bird, it's so important to expose them to lots of different food items. So fruits and vegetables and, wholemeal pasta and stuff like that. So they go, lots of things are food.
Wholemeal pasta for birds?
Yeah. You can cook like one pasta. It's a nice little thing for them. Why?
You feed birds pasta.
Don't feed birds a lot of pasta. You can feed birds like a one piece of cooked wholemeal pasta
Really
once in a while.
Your qualifications here.
Here's the thing.
I don't think birds are supposed to eat spaghetti,
They do though, and they like it. But it's not so much that pasta. It's just that lots of things in lots of different shapes and sizes and colors and textures can be food
when they're real young.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, like with birds, it's hard to say what gets them, but, I think texture is part of it.
Yeah.
Their sense of smell is not fantastic, but that's probably part of it as well. They use their little tongues as, like, hands, and they touch it, so that's going to be another tactile sensation.
Right, okay.
So, it's just making sure that they're exposed to all these different things from a young age.
Yeah, sure.
Because you expose, let's say, a 5-year-old parrot to spinach when they've only had seed for 5 years, and they react like you're trying to poison them, which makes sense because they've never seen that before in their entire lives.
Yeah, sure.
And they don't know that things that don't look and feel like seed are still food. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the same thing as people where birds that are fed on junk food diets, they get heart disease, they get liver disease, they get hypovitaminosis because the vitamin content of seed is so poor. They have mineral balance issues, so it's really bad. It's probably really similar to obese humans that are addicted to junk food and that's all they eat.
Yeah, sure.
And you x-ray these birds and you can see like the size of their livers, which is huge. It's just full of fat.
I don't know if this is true or not, but like, do they ever have like behavioral problems from?
Yes,
because I feel like just to talk about humans, like people who have very bad diets, who eat mostly junk food, who are obese, tend to have real like mood difficulties and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, yes, and I guess it's hard to tell with parrots.
Yeah, right.
You don't have that self-reporting thing.
Right. Okay.
What I will say is,
but like sometimes like I had a friend who she had some very fat birds. And they were dicks also, and it's like, I wonder if that's related.
That's
at
just
all.
birds. That's just parrots.
All birds are like that.
Parrots.
All birds are
little
entitled.
Turds. Yeah, yeah, they are. But we're not sure about that, and we're still finding out a lot about parrot psychology.
Right.
Because one thing we suspect is a lot of fluorescent lights, because fluorescent lights actually flash. It just flash too quickly for our eyes to see.
Yeah. Okay.
But we think that they can actually pick up the individual flashes.
Oh.
So we think that
and
might
so it puts them off and stuff.
Yeah, well, contribute to some behavioral problems in indoor birds.
Oh, interesting.
So there's still a lot we don't know about it.
Yeah, okay.
What I will say is, like, fat birds, or birds that are overweight, they have an upregulation of their reproductive hormones.
Okay.
Because the body goes, oh, well, you've got lots of stores, let's use it to...
Let's create more birds.
Yeah, to make more birds. So that is one thing that I see very commonly with very fat birds. They may just lay lots of eggs. They may be very reproductively active, screaming and biting and that kind of stuff. So yeah, you do see that.
Oh, interesting. All right.
With very fat birds. And
so how do you wean them off?
it's really hard. And it's a very individual thing.
Right.
So one thing is, obviously you don't want the bird to starve themselves. So seed is better than nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's something where I tell people, look, this is a 12-month project.
Yeah.
For older birds that are used to see. This is going to take a really long time. And you might have to try different things before you go, all right, well, this is what works for them. So one thing that I like is first introducing them to pellets and fresh food. And just having that really easily available, make it the easy choice, and just leave it in there. And you probably can just leave it in there for, a couple of weeks. You're going to have to change it out and stuff, and don't expect them to eat them, but you're just getting them used to this is something that's around now. And because parrots are tactile, they're curious animals, they're probably going to pick it up, have a chew at it.
Yeah, and this is not delicious.
Yeah, and they're going to spit it out or whatever, but at least they know that that's something they can do with this object.
Yeah, okay.
And then
I suppose, changing it out is probably really important because it will rot.
Yeah.
Because you're putting, like, fresh food in there.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be interested in it.
Yeah.
And so, you have to just be like, okay, cool, well, that's going to be thrown away now.
And some parrots, they like to chew. Like, one thing that I like to say is put in, like, a whole cob of corn, put in, like, a whole, like, little pumpkin, because they'll see it as a toy and they'll destroy it. But in the process of destroying it, they'll taste it. They might eat a bit of it just accidentally.
Okay.
And it becomes a fun thing for them. Right. So that's good as well. And then once you kind of work out what works well for your parrot, then you start reducing the seed.
Yeah, okay.
And then you start to make it clear over the next, 3 to 6 months, depending, that, okay, we get, 1 tablespoon of seed in the morning, and that's all the seed we get for the day.
Yeah.
But we can eat as much pellets as we want. We can eat as much fruit and vegetables as we want.
Yeah, okay.
That kind of thing. It's just a really
slow, gradual process. Is it something where you're literally, like, mixing it together, or
you can do that as well. So one thing, you can do that as well, but you can't just mix pellets and seeds together.
Yeah.
Because they just pick out the seed.
They'll just pick out the seeds.
Yeah. So what I used to do is you say...
There has to be less access to seeds, I guess.
Yeah. So they need to learn that once the seed is gone, that's it. I'm not getting any more.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm not saying they can't have any. That can't just be their sole diet.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing as well is getting them used to pellets. Like, you can blend up the pellets and the seed and, like, form a little block.
Right.
And then because to get to the seed, they'll have to chew it up, and then they'll eat a bit of the pellets.
Yeah, right.
And I think the most important part, whatever method, is just being patient and knowing that this is not going to be done in 2 months, 3 months. I expect up to a year.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's well worth it. I think it's probably one of the most important things you can do to safeguard the health of your parrot.
Sure. And at the 1 year mark, you can reward them with an entire lasagna.
Don't do that. Do not do that. He's unqualified. The Tiny Vet Podcast is brought to you by Upilio. Sources for our topics can be found at upilio.io. Outro music by Matt Charleston.